Good afternoon, Ronnie Gelfond, 21st Century Public Adjusters, Newtown, Pennsylvania. Today, we are going to talk about special endorsements. And there's two in particular ones. We're going to start off with one right now. It's come forward a couple times, equipment breakdown. Can I explain equipment breakdown as it relates to insurance policies? It is an interesting endorsement. Equipment breakdown normally is seen on commercial policies. Insurance policies, as you know, you have home property, you have business property, and you have an example within business property. It could be your business, it could be a multi-unit business, it could be a church. Variations of businesses is why this particular endorsement has come forward. Even in homeowners situations and in rental properties, you do have equipment breakdown. Well, what is equipment breakdown? Last time I used equipment breakdown was over here in a church where in the middle of winter, the church had a situation, nothing's working. They called me in, they called their, I guess their plumber in, their HVAC. Everybody's looking at everything. HVAC said, you need a whole new system. After looking at everything, me coming out, I reviewed with them. I said, what's exactly wrong? They said, there's a crack in the internal furnace. I said, well, how'd that happen? They explained it happened sometime last night. There was a change in the weather, and this is what occurred. Long and short, we were able to get this particular item covered under the actual equipment endorsement for the church. The reality at the end of the day is equipment coverage is the ability of something that fails or breaks down. People look at appliances. This is not like a maintenance plan in any way, but a lot of times in an insurance claim, if you had a pipe failure, what you'll find is there's a partial denial. They'll pay for the damages from the pipe, but they're not paying for the pipe itself. In this particular case, because you would have equipment breakdown or equipment failure breakdown, this would pick up that fee. So if it was a big water boiler, or again, not saying big or small, that's the type of equipment, and it's usually just seen more so on commercial side than it is on residential, but both sides do have it. Every insurance company is different. That's why they're called special endorsements. They're not part of any individual policy. They're actual endorsements that are in what we call an a la carte area. You heard me talk about that before, where you can add a variation of different endorsements into your policy to make it more robust. Under commercial policies, one of the biggest ones that we see, because they're usually very big. This case here, I think the furnace was $30-some thousand. They paid $1,000 for the deductible, and we were able to get the furnace rectified and fixed, and it was all done within a week. There are pieces within the understanding of equipment where you just need to always have an expert out, not an insurance carrier, not the adjuster, not the insurance adjuster, but your own HVAC boiler person who can identify the specifics of what's wrong. The biggest thing with equipment failure breakdown is having a narrative, knowing that an expert in that area of expertise has looked it over and has given their narrative. The narrative is what we need to pass on. So just know that. You don't just call insurance out and say something don't work and look at them to look it over for you. That's not going to get you coverage. That's going to get you a big no-no. You want to always present the case properly. This is why we always recommend bring a public adjuster in. Always hire 21st Century public adjusters. I will always be available to come out, review, look at the situation with you, and give you your best foot forward on what direction to go.